What's going on, guys? Welcome to your second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and stimulus news plan for Thursday, September 17th. Today I bring you some very good news out of the House. I also have some insights on how negotiations are going to go moving forward and how they're going right now. And I also want to explain why no stimulus check as of today is also very good for Americans. I'm going to explain that in just a minute. I'm also going to address a $2,000 stimulus check. There is a plan for that, and I want to break it down and why that's actually a good thing. First, let's address the good news out of the House, because this directly affects and impacts stimulus checks. Now, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, who's a Republican, he spoke this morning and gave us some really welcoming news regarding stimulus negotiations from the House. Now, Steny Hoyer said that the House is currently working on their own stimulus package, and it is a modified version of the Problem Solvers bill. When he said he referenced that it's going to be a modified version. He didn't specifically say it's a modified version. Okay, he referenced it, saying that it's going to be very similar. Now, this is good news. This is very good news. And this is the way this is going to work. This is the way this negotiation is going to go. The House is not going to directly work with the Senate and is not going to negotiate with Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows. They're not going to do that. Nancy Pelosi, okay, her people, the House, they're specifically putting together a bill currently, as of right now, as of watching this video. This bill is supposed to be being put together, and once they have this together, it's exactly how they want it, which it will most likely be $2.2 trillion. They will then take this to President Trump. They will only negotiate with President Trump. Now, if he says, okay, I like that, I sign off, that's good, I approve, I will sign this, if the Senate passes it, then and only then will Nancy Pelosi bring it back to the House and they will have a vote. If it passes, then it will get kicked over to the Senate will have their vote, and in the meantime, between the Senate voting and President Trump liking this idea, liking this proposal, he will try to persuade his fellow Republicans to vote on this bill. So, it's very good news. That could mean we could be less than 2 weeks away from receiving a stimulus check, not just getting a bill passed. So that's really good news. Now, the reason for this is because the House doesn't feel that there is enough time or there's a willingness within the Senate to actually negotiate much further. Mitch McConnell has not been in any of these negotiations, so why would Nancy Pelosi and top Democrat leaders negotiate with Mitch McConnell or anybody inside the Senate or Senate Republicans? This is also a very good idea because Trump feels that he holds the power to possibly persuade fellow Republicans to stand behind this bill if both parties can agree on it. Again, Nancy Pelosi is going to take this, or I believe it's Nancy Pelosi, said top leadership. Okay, I assume that's Nancy Pelosi. However, could be somebody else. We don't know. They will take this to President Trump. Could be Steny Hoyer. Again, we don't know. But they will take this bill to President Trump, this proposal, and if he signs off on it, then it will come back to the House for a vote. Remember, President Trump wants more stimulus to the American people because this is good for votes and it's good for the economy. When he refers or references stimulus, he's not just talking about stimulus checks. He's talking about stimulus in the form of unemployment enhancement or an extension. He also talks about stimulus for things like businesses, PPP funding. So he wants more stimulus all around, not just stimulus checks. Now, with the House leadership going this route, it will make negotiations go much faster. I mean, much, much faster. If the House can simply put together a plan, and Nancy Pelosi stated this a few days ago, that any bill moving forward has to be bipartisan. So if the House puts together a bill that is not bipartisan, then it's going to do absolutely no good, and it's just going to waste more time. So I personally believe, as do many others, the negotiations will go much faster. They'll be a lot smoother if Nancy Pelosi deals directly with the Trump administration and specifically Donald Trump himself. Now, Nancy Pelosi did say earlier that when we go into a negotiation, it's about the allocation of the resources. But it's hard to see how we can go any lower when you only have greater needs. This is true. Our needs are only getting greater. Rental assistance is going up. It has to go up. School funding already went up, $40 billion? It has to go up. The second stimulus check, it's not going up. Unemployment is not going up. There's no money for people that are heroes. Okay? There's no money for hazard pay. There's no extension or a little enhancement for Social Security. There's a lot of issues here. There's a lot of holes. However, the Problem Solvers bill does cover a lot of things, and it would be really good to see that come through. Remember, even though Nancy Pelosi might be willing to go lower than $2.2 trillion in this new stimulus bill, she is not going to let that slip up. She can't afford to let that slip because Republicans will ultimately drop their price. I say this because just yesterday, Mark Meadows did this exact same thing, but in the other direction. Mark Meadows told the media that he was very pleased with the Problem Solvers bill and remains optimistic that something happens. Well, that's exactly what happened. Was Democrats looked at this thinking, okay, Mark Meadows says he's very optimistic, he's pleased with this, so we could probably ask for more, which is probably what they're going to do in the next bill. So we'll see if they're at 2.2, 2.4, or even higher. But again, I don't think they're going to be anything under 2.2. So like I said, this pretty much told Democrats, yeah, we're good with the Problem Solvers bill, so we'll take them a little bit higher. We'll see how much we can get out of them, because as of right now, the Democrats hold all the cards. From what I've been reading and seeing is that Nancy Pelosi and top Republicans are pleased with the possibility of 2 additional stimulus checks with automatic adjustments. I'm going to explain this in just a second, but because this is very good news, it's very welcome news. Reports indicate that having these automatic adjustments in the bill would make things less complicated in the future if, for some reason, the economy were to get better or worse. There would be no reason to go and negotiate further if the economy got worse. These automatic adjustments would just kick right in. This also allows Congress to work on other things, and instead of spending all their time working on an additional stimulus package to the American people, they could negotiate other things. They could work on other things that, when this whole issue, this whole stimulus issue could have been avoided long ago. These reports also indicate that a handful of Democrats regret not having these automatic adjustments in the CARES Act. They say this would have solved a lot of problems. This would have fixed a lot of headaches. This would have made America much better off today. Well, it would have. So, right now, the good news is that the 2 additional stimulus checks look like they will be staying in the new stimulus proposal. Also, this is great news for people that are struggling financially. This is also really good news for those that are in the hospitality industry, okay, the travel industry, because any person that works at a restaurant, works at a Dave & Buster's, works really anywhere that is something that's entertainment, because these industries are going to be hit hard. The airline industry is looking at laying off thousands of people in the next couple of weeks. So we will see what happens, but what I can tell you is there will be more people struggling financially in 2021 than 2020. So again, we'll see what happens. Some more good news is that Steny Hoyer said Democrat leaders are hoping to have a proposal ready by possibly Monday or Tuesday and present this to President Trump, sometime early next week. If this happens, if this bill is ready and they can propose it to President Trump and he signs off on this, that's really good news. That puts us about 2 weeks ahead of where we thought we were going to be. If this happens, then they could vote on this bill. If President Trump signs off on this or he wants some adjustments made, they could make those adjustments in probably within hours or even that same day. They could take it back to President Trump, say, hey, this is what we got. Do you like it? Here we go. And if he says, yes, that's good with me, he can probably, he will probably get more Republicans to stand behind this. Then they can take it back to the House, vote on it, and then send it over to the Senate for a vote as long as it passes the House. So again, all great news. Also have some more good news as well. Many top Democrats and Republicans are saying that they don't agree on this entire problem solvers bill. However, it is time to do something. We can't sit aside and wait for nothing to happen. This is the current consensus among Congress as well. Many are tired of fighting, and what they believe will help the American people long term, they don't want to stick to that. Okay, I know this is confusing. Why would you not want to stick to your ultimate goal? Here's the reason why. They want to get Americans to get what they need now. They want to address the now issue, and then they will address the later issue then, when it actually comes up. Because they say, we want to get American people what they need now instead of long term. Because if they don't, there might not be an America long term. Very true. Now, they also say no more politics, no more games, no more fighting. Just get a bill passed for the people. That's what we've been saying all along. So why does it take Congress so long to figure this out? Again, I also have some more good news. There is a report out there, okay? This is very important. I really like this report. I really like this idea. There's a report out there that states that according to people with knowledge of the negotiations moving forward, Democrats would like or are contemplating including an automatic adjustment to the third stimulus check. This adjustment could possibly make this check anywhere from $0 to $2,000 for a one-time stimulus check. Let me explain how this would work. First, if the economy gets better, a lot better, then the American people receive $0, give nothing for a stimulus check. And that comes in March. If the economy stays the exact same, the American people would get a $1,200 stimulus check for filers and $1,200 for their spouse, an additional $500 for all dependents. That's if the economy worsens. However, the Democrats are saying if we make an adjustment, we make an automatic adjustment or a rider, put in a clause stating that if the economy is better, then there's no stimulus check. However, shouldn't we also put in a rider that states if the economy gets worse, such as the pandemic levels, for example, in June, then the stimulus check wouldn't be $1,200. It would be $2,000 for each filer, $2,000 for their spouse, and $1,000 for dependents. That is really good news moving forward, because if something like this is included, it means that Congress is now planning for not only the best outcome, but also the worst outcome. And as of right now, they state that we could be in this pandemic for over another year. And also, some people are worried that there will be a true second wave of COVID-19 come this fall and winter. So it's very important that they address this issue right now. Remember, some Democrats are angry that they didn't include this in the CARES Act. So, and by not thinking long term, they had this issue. So it would be foolish to be at the table right now crafting this new bill and not including this. So we'll see what happens. What we should be looking for moving forward is how many pieces of legislation are tied to an automatic adjustment. These things, my guess is, will be state and local government funding, unemployment, stimulus checks, PPP funding, and rental assistance. That's what I personally believe will be included in some type of automatic adjustment or automatic rider. So we will see what happens moving forward. But now, I don't want you to I don't want you to get in information overload. I understand I've said a lot of things in this video. I've been saying a lot of things in a lot of videos. And some people are a little hesitant to watch very long videos. It's just too much information. So make sure you stick around. Make sure you come back tomorrow. Go ahead, hit that like button, and also click that subscribe button so that you can subscribe. I will keep you updated on everything that has to do with stimulus moving forward. So Go and do that. Come back tomorrow, and I will keep you updated on what happened, what else happened today that you need to be aware of. So, thank you for watching today's second stimulus check update. Do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next one.